Welcome, everyone. This is Jim Sporer with ISSIP, the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals. And today we have our MyT Me T-shaped skills update. And Lou, I'll turn it over to you to get us going.
Well, thank you, Jim. I'm going to move this slide out of the way. Today, I'd like to update you on MyT Me, the personal T-shaped scoring application. I've been working on this for many years and have enjoyed the support of Jim Sporer and Pavel Savas, whose help has been tremendous and amazing. We are now in our third presentation of the MyT Me scoring application for T-shaped personnel development. My name is Lou Freund. I'm an ISSIP fellow. I'm professor emeritus at San Jose State University. And I would like to give you an idea today about what MyT Me is about, how it works, and also provide a brief update as to how you can log on to MyT Me. I'll be followed by Jim, who's going to talk about upskilling your T, which is now more important than ever. And we will also introduce a new upskilling enhancement using AI, and Pavel Sava will talk about that. MyT Me is an AI-supported tool for representing and building your T-shape. We're going to talk also about applications for planning your T-shape and building your MyT Me scores in the future. So just to briefly review, the T-shape is about representing your experience overall in terms of your breadth across disciplines and your depth within a discipline. In general, the T is represented by the T stem, showing analytic thinking and problem-solving experience and skills, and representing your depth in disciplines and systems. In addition, the T has the configuration of a T top, which represents understanding and communication experience, including your boundary crossing competencies such as teamwork, communication, perspective, and networking, your critical thinking experience and skills, global understanding experience, project management experience, and so on. So boundary crossing competencies are the T top, and the T stem is analytic thinking and problem solving experience and skills. In MyT Me, we have represented the T stem in terms of your prior and current memberships and authorships and recognitions, the education and degrees and certifications that you've earned, your operations responsibilities and expertise, your software and device proficiency, and your methods and skills proficiencies. Software device proficiency and methods and skills proficiency, and the other three elements of the T stem combine to form your T stem score. The T top is represented as indicated in the figure by your project management, organizational design, and other experiences. Two have been added by our team called organizational design and empathy in order to reflect those aspects of your boundary crossing competency. All of these are used by MyT Me to represent your experience as recorded in your resume to generate a MyT Me score. The MyT Me framework simply keeps track of the positions and responsibilities that you've had, your education and training, your awards, publications, which we call deeds, skills and tools, and develops a score using an internal algorithm that provides information, provides a way of representing your experience. The information to load this algorithm is provided either through your LinkedIn profile or through your resume, as you can upload your resume in PDF file format, and the system will interpret it and create your T-shaped score. MyT Me system assigns weights to each entry based on an internal weighting algorithm, and the sums of the assigned weights become the T-stem and the T-top metrics. Getting started is simply a step of going to a link, getmytme.com, and choosing Get Started up here in the upper right corner of the screen. When you do that, you will be presented with this sign-in matrix, which allows you to continue with LinkedIn, which will enable you to upload your LinkedIn profile for transferring your LinkedIn profile to the MyT Me framework. Or you can enter with your resume and upload a PDF version of your resume from your own directory. When you do that, you click Resume on the right tab and Add Resume. Find and select your current PDF resume from your directory and upload the file. The progress status bar will show you the progress of creating your MyT Me score. Once that's done, you'll be taken to the MyT Me dashboard, which includes graphic representations of the scores in your personal resume. The scores represented in this are represented as a pie chart showing the proportion of score in, or the amount of score in each category on the T-top and the T-stem, as well as by a spider diagram that shows the scores themselves for each of the categories of the T-top and T-stem. On the right side of the dashboard is a display that indicates your T-score, shown by a red dot, relevant to the percentiles that have been developed from other T-shape scores that are in the system. This is a representation of over 800 T-score, MyT Me score profiles that the system has access to, and shows 3 bands, one for the 50th to 75th percentile, the 75th to the 95th percentile, and the 95th percentile and above. It indicates your score in relationship to others in the system relative to the number of years since you've been in your professional career, and other variations, such as the last educational degree you've had, the number of years since that, the number of years since your first educational degree, and so on. And you can represent all of the components in this profile showing percentiles. MyT Me is an AI tool that will assess your T-shape. Your MyT Me score is based on your positions, your education, your deeds, skills, and tool proficiencies. It'll find and present clear visualizations of your T-shaped strengths and weaknesses. And with it, you can identify T-shaped gaps based on your MyT Me score and the T-top and the top percentile scores in your field. You can also plan specific strategies to address goals relating to improving components of your MyT Me score. And this is where Jim will take over and talk about how AI is now leading us to think that we can provide meaningful guidance for you based on your MyT Me profile, score, and what your goals might be. In addition, we have the ability to represent teams in MyT Me and look at the MyT Me scores of groups of people who are in the system. The team dashboard is framed the same way as the individual dashboard. teams are set up with individuals who are in the system, and the T-scores of each member of the team are combined to form the team dashboard score. Teams can be formed by a plan team icon or button that allows you to add individuals to your team and see how each individual will enhance the team as you go forward, and what gaps can be filled in by individuals who are considered for the team. Once the team has been identified and formed, an invite can be sent to each person who's been selected for the team. This method can also be used to generate scores for departments or divisions. For that matter, there's no limiting number to the number who can be on a team. Also, we're going to be planning MyT Me growth and plans for the future. And so I'd like to ask Jim to talk about why T-shaped skills matter more than ever in the era of generative AI. Jim?
Great, thanks, Lou. If you can hear me okay, I'm going to put some links into the chat. They're also in the registration link that I already posted. But the basic idea is that AI is putting the squeeze on the half-life of skills. So certain skills that you might have had in the past, now AI can do them. So the need for constantly upskilling and learning to use AI tools is very clear. Also, the thing that makes us uniquely human is not just our ability to do work in isolation, but work on teams. And so the horizontal part of the T-shape becomes increasingly important in the AI era. And in fact, when I asked ChatGPT's OpenAI, I'll put this into the chat as well. You can see my little recipe here, and Pavel will show you a much better system in a minute, but this was just a, sort of a quick approach that anybody could take. I uploaded the MyT Me paper, and I'll put the link to that in the chat as well, so that the AI knew about the MyT Me scoring, at least a little bit based on the paper. Then I uploaded my resume, actually my LinkedIn profile. And then I asked the LLM to generate a professional development plan for me. And if you click on that link that I put in the chat, you can see it actually did a very good job. It called out my strengths very well from a MyT Me standpoint. It also suggested that I increase my language proficiencies to broaden myself. It also suggested that I do more in the area of AI and ethics, which was a good suggestion to broaden there. And if you scroll down, Lou, you'll see recommendation to improve Jim Sporer's MyT Me score. And the interdisciplinary learning I thought was right on: data ethics, sustainability, or behavioral economics. So it did a pretty good job just uploading the MyT Me paper and the LinkedIn profile. But as we'll see, Pavel's been working on some tooling for the MyT Me platform that does an even better job and makes it easier to explore a T-shaped professional development plan. So with that, I'll turn it over to Pavel. And
Okay, let's get back there.
okay.
Sorry.
Well, thanks for showing that, Lou.
Yeah, I guess I had that.
And I just want to, Deb, anyone can do that. It's a pretty easy thing to do, to upload to ChatGPT, both the PDF of the MyT Me paper, and I'll put that link into the chat. So there's the link to download the MyT Me paper. So just uploaded that PDF for that paper, and the prompt that I used was just, I'll put that in the chat as well. There's the prompt.
I can share my screen, Dr.
Yeah,
Freund.
why don't you show yours? I'm sorry. Hold on.
All right.
Is this still visible to you or not?
It
Oh,
is.
why don't you share? Oh,
We
I
can
see
it.
here.
All right, thank you, Jim. As you said, yeah, we tried using LLMs, ChatGPT specifically, to
Go ahead. I'm afraid that there you go. Do it again, Pavel, I'm sorry. There you go.
okay, so yeah, so LLMs seem like a good use case for profile suggestions, since your profile is essentially all text. It's a collection of a few different accomplishments. And at first, Jim tried plugging in his profile, the MyT Me paper, as he said, into ChatGPT to get a list of suggestions. That looked really good. And we tried building a system around that. So essentially, we take your MyT Me profile as a list of text entries. We plugged it into an LLM. We have been using mostly OpenAI. And we use function callings from OpenAI to get a list of suggestions as a JSON array. So as a list of entries that we can just plug into the MyT Me system, store them, and actually display them on the website on MyT Me as a list of things that you can use. So here you can see the flow chart. And on the right side, we essentially get a list of suggestions in the MyT Me system. On the new UI, when you switch between different sections, like deeds, skills, tools, or educations, on the right side, you will see the list of AI-generated suggestions tailored to your specific profile. On this list of suggestions, it will keep changing as you update the profile, as well as over time as we improve and rerun our suggestion system. So whenever you see a suggestion that you like, you can click the heart button, and that suggestion will be added to your list of deeds in this case. And it will be in different color, like blue here. You can see that it's planned. And essentially, this will create a career plan for you. So you could see, for example, here on the bottom, you could see your T-score right now, as well as the T-score after you implement all the suggestions that you have selected for yourself. And we think this is very interesting because there's so many different ways to improve your T-score. There are hundreds, probably thousands of different certifications that you can take. There are dozens of events every day. So for example, here I looked at just AI events in San Francisco Bay Area here on the right side. And there are probably over 20 different events on just September 17th. And on the left side, we have a list of conferences. And it's the same situation where we have probably dozens of different conferences every day. So the difficulty here is really out of the huge pool of information is picking exactly what you should focus on to improve your profile. And we are working on integrating both the LLM that takes your profile, generates a list of suggestions, as well as an external vector database where we put all the data on different events, conferences, classes, for example, journals. So you can get a list of tailored suggestions based on the current data. So the MyT Me system will suggest that, hey, there's a conference in your area in the week that relates exactly to your field of study, for example, that you should go to. And we think this is really amazing place to be because we have this system that essentially takes your LinkedIn, your resume, two main sources of your professional achievements. It has a way for you to go over all the data that comes from your LinkedIn resume and resume. You can change it up, you can clean it up, you can really put a list of all your professional achievements, all your certifications, travels, and stuff like that. So the system has a really good idea of your professional background. Then we can score that, which is a little bit different from just using LLM. Since we have a scoring engine, we can really say that your T-stem, for example, is really large compared to your T-top. So you should possibly focus on developing your T-top in that situation. And we are building this vector database of current events. So combining these two things, the fact that we know the exact information about your profile, about your personal background, as well as the list of all the upcoming events, available certifications and stuff like that, we can really develop a list of tailored actionable items to your profile. And we can put that back into the MyT Me system so you can really see how your T-score will improve when you complete these suggestions. I think this is it for me, Dr. Freund. I'll hand it back to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pavel. We're very excited about the idea of being able to use MyT Me and AI and LLM techniques to provide a guide for professional growth and achievement, which has always been the agenda for the MyT Me system. But as we have explored it and developed it, we've realized it has many applications that are far beyond individual growth and achievement and relate to team growth, relate to corporate planning and other ways for personnel management to be addressed beyond the standard evaluation protocols. So we're feeling as though the MyT Me methodology is one that can find a place within most HR environments and gain a foothold in the evaluation and planning of career growth and achievement, as well as organizational growth and achievement. So I think that concludes our presentation for today. We'll be continuing to develop in the AI zone for the next several months, and we'll be scheduling another update perhaps in the spring. Thank you very much for attending, and we look forward to any comments and seeing you on MyT Me at www.getmytme.com. Thank you.
So, Lou, we do have just a couple minutes, maybe 6 minutes. I see Deb said this is an amazing platform. This is so amazing. When you were showing the parts and the spider diagrams, I tend to agree. So great job developing the methodology. I remember when it was a spreadsheet, and now with Pavel's help, it is a fully functional platform. So fantastic progress. And this direction that we discussed today of getting the T-shaped development plan looks like a really good next step. I don't know, Deb also said she has limited bandwidth on her internet, so she may not be able to put any questions in for you. But Deb, if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. And I do have a question for Lou and then a question for Pavel. So my question for Lou, as people upskill with AI and start using these AI tools, do you think, could you comment a little bit on, both horizontal skills and vertical skills that you think are going to be, additionally important in the AI era? Are there any that jump out to you? And it's okay if I know this is the first time you've heard this question, so.
Well, certainly is. Thank you for sharing your thought.
Yeah.
To me, the T-STEM skills that are going to be most relevant are those that an individual is acquired to understand the AI tools and techniques. As Pavel and Jim have been working and using acronyms to describe the various tools that are out there, I realize that my T-STEM is a little short in the area of knowing what these things are and how they relate. As an industrial engineer, I pride myself on being able to synthesize solutions to problems that are existing in organizations. And if there's a whole domain out there, which I have not the experience to use, so I began to get thinking that perhaps my skills related to understanding the AI tools is important. Going forward, as far as the T-top is concerned, I still feel as though the communication and teamwork skills are going to be most prominently sought for in organizations in the future. And I think that in the AI era, it's going to be important to be able to communicate your own expertise as well as integrate effectively with those who have other expertise. So I'm looking at teamwork and team building. And also I mentioned a T-top element called empathy. And I think that is actually something that's going to start playing a role. It's not all about how you succeed, it's how the group succeeds and how the individuals that you're working with come along with you. So I think empathy for others and their own skills and achievement is going to be also important in the future. Thank you for allowing me to express those thoughts.
I think that's you did very, very well because I sprung that on you, and I totally agree. I think you hit the nail right on the head. You hit the T-shape right on the head,
So to
but-
speak.
so to speak. But Pavel, a quick question for you. We've got just a couple minutes left. Since you are that generation that's growing up with AI tools, and I'm just curious if you could say a little bit about your peer groups, what's going on. I mean, obviously you've mastered using APIs and programming full stack with AI, but what about maybe people who aren't a programmer like you that are in your peer group? How much emphasis or lack thereof do you see people putting on learning to use AI tools today?
Yeah, definitely, John. It's a good question. So I feel like being in Silicon Valley, that's probably a lot different from any other part of the world. But I feel like it's a topic of many conversations. I feel like everyone uses it to some extent. So for example, I don't know, we use it for writing, we use it for just general questions. I've noticed that it used to be that if you want to find out something, you go on Google and you Google it. I feel like a lot of times, even my non-technical friends, they go to ChatGPT and ask the same question because I think it does a lot better job of explaining and answering that specific question. So you don't really have to spend time looking through links on Google trying to find that answer by yourself. So I really feel like it's still a brand new thing. Everyone is still trying to figure it out. But I've noticed, I think there's definitely a lot of interest, and I feel like it's really making life a lot easier and it's saving a lot of time.
Yeah, yeah. And I see Deb did get a question in there. Any drawbacks from using AI to generate this personal info? And certainly, I think, in my writings on this, I come up with like four categories of people. One, they're not going to use AI at all because they're just afraid of it. They think it's terrible. It's going to be the end of humanity. Then there are those who are saying yes, but only with my permission. So they're looking for guardrails around the AI so that they'll feel comfortable using it. And I would say many of them aren't using it because they don't think the guardrails are sufficient. And then there are the people who are maybe they're playing with it a little bit. They're, not sharing much personal information. And then I guess there's people like me, Deb, who are just like, take my personal information, obviously I protect certain types of personal information, but just, things about my skill, things about my history. For me, Deb, a lot of that's public anyway. All my publications are public. I've given so many talks that are on YouTube. So I would say in general, Deb, there are those four categories, and there's no right answer to that. I think it depends on your personality and your and where you are. But I'm probably on the extreme of using it in every way I possibly can to understand it and to benefit from it.
So if I might just add a comment there, her question is about using AI to generate personal information. And actually, we're not using it to generate personal information. Personal information is coming to the system from the resumes and LinkedIn profile. What we're generating with AI is a proposed plan for how to improve your T-score in the T-top and T-SCAM. So we're not generating personal information here. We're generating a plan based on your inputted personal information, which you've
Great.
provided willingly in signing up for the system.
Very, very good clarification, Lou.
Thank
Very
you.
good clarification. All right, I'm going to stop the recording and I'll get this posted later.